we should be good. All right, Shalom Makim, Wagwafim, Shabbat Shalom. We want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Their ones to the elder apostles of the great wisdom, who are teachers, who will, peace and salutations to all the fellow laborers of the hopefully elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And we're just gonna go into this Abraham Accord agreement, in which you got the U.S. and they're brokering a peace deal between Israel, the state of Israel, and the UAE, the United Emirates, the Arab Emirates. All right, and just based on that move alone, we can see that the people are not agreeing with it. You got people protesting over there in the Middle East, because really it looks like the elites are trying to put finishing touches on their new world order. So this agreement is not about peace and safety, as they're gonna have you believe, but more so it's just more about a dominance and control over the Middle East. All right. So and what's interesting is how they call it the Abraham Accord, when we all know that the promise went to Abraham, which was established in Isaac and Jacob. Those Ishmaelites, they come from Abraham, but they're not of the seed of the promise. And neither is Esau. But Esau, he's perpetrating as if he's
the two that the blessings the two that the blessings skipped over through that lineage are the two that's made an agreement that they deserve to be in that area right now.
Right.
Basically.
Right. And we know that's just them trying to further keep the true nation of Israel from being a nation. You see, and that was that Psalms 83rd chapter. And then prophecy said that you would have Idumea and the residue of the heathen possessing the Holy Land in the last days. All right, so we know that this particular agreement that they were celebrating, that's really just going to lead to more conflict, more war. Okay, and that's what I don't know if y'all was already holding something, but that's what I was going to have y'all get 1 Thessalonians 5.
Yeah, I can get it if nobody got it. I'm on it. I'm on it. Yeah, 1 Thessalonians chapter 21, right? So 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 at the top, right?
Yeah.
Verse 1, it says, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
Yeah, so Esau, he's gonna try to make sure everything falls into his his desire, so to speak, and once he get that fulfilled, he figured he's just gonna rest and chill and proclaim world tranquility up under his new world order, but that's not going to happen. We know that the Lord said he'd come up like a thief in the night. All right. So hey, was that Psalms 33 and was that 10? If somebody can get that real quick, because there's no counsel against the Most High. All right.
It's Psalms 33, verse 10, and it reads, "The Lord brings the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect."
Yeah, we might want to read that 83rd. I'll get to it.
Yeah, read that again.
God, the Lord Yahweh Bashim bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect.
Yeah, and the counsel is basically their purposes, their plans on what they want to do. The Lord, he offsets that if it goes against his program, his will.
And Esau been going against the Lord's program since his inception.
That's right.
I got something.
So with these, negotiations and peace agreements that they make, a lot of it is in vain, because we all know that there's not going to be any peace established over there until the real children of Israel return to the land. So really, they celebrate, they had Trump and them, they was all celebrating this agreement. But we all know that nothing but bloodshed and war is going to come out of this, because the world don't agree with this particular union. The world is actually in opposition to the Zionist government, the Zionist regime, the U.S. Having the type of global dominance that they have. The world is coming against that now. So how are you going to have peace out of that?
And even the people in their own lands over there, both here and over there don't agree with that. Because we don't hear about Hebrew Israelites over there in the land of Israel, but over here we're making a loud noise that shouldn't be happening over there. That we're the ones that's supposed to be over there. But even the ones that are over in that land, the heathen that are over there, they're even not agreeing with this. Both Palestine's got issues, and the other countries surroundingly has issues with this union coming together.
I got to appreciate it. Joel 5:12, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong.
Yeah. And Esau making these moves because he knows that he has but a short time, but he has no idea that the Lord, has him in a trick bag. Okay, so it's not gonna succeed the way Esau thinks. Is because he's a proud man. He thinks that he's gonna, his dwelling places he will dwell and continue forever. But that's not so. Okay, we know that the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men. So he sets the duration on the time for a man to rule. And it's just at this point, your duration is about up.
Okay.
So you trying to establish, peace and prosperity under your new world order. The Lord's going to offset that, man. That's why right now you're trying to say peace and safety in the Middle East and worldwide, but we know that nothing but destruction and travail is coming. And that's why the Lord's putting the spirit into these nations to come against it. Okay. So was that what you read in Psalms? Was that it, or I think there was a little more?
Yeah, it's 11. It says, "The counsel of the Lord standeth forever, the thoughts of His heart to all generations."
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's about what the Lord willeth. All right. It's all about His counsel. All right. Yep.
It's Job 14:5. "Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass."
And the Lord's determination and His word, He wants to, gather all the nations up in the Middle East and fight this World War III. That's His counsel that He wants to come from fruition, man.
And that's that same region. That's all in that same region, that Fertile Crescent region. The land of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat, the land of the Lord's judgment. He's gonna send a mountain of troops over there to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And that's who's going. And the winner of that is gonna rule the galaxy.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Zephaniah 3:8. "Therefore wait ye upon me, said the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." It don't sound like prophetic peace, like they're trying to proclaim over there about that region. That sounds like war in that region.
That's right.
And let me just put it out this way. According to prophecy, there's no peace until the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
There's going to be that's easy how we know this is bull. That's why it was beautiful you start with that 1 Thessalonians, because there's no peace and safety coming until Yahweh Shai returns to the earth and subdue all of the kings of the world.
Yeah. I mean, even Esau don't believe that, man. That's why the scriptures tell you to never, trust him. Yeah. That Psalms 55, those words be smoother than butter. Yeah, you can't believe everything this man says. When he declares peace, just know that, he got something brewing. He's working on something. All right. And I wouldn't put it past him, upon them creating this agreement. I wouldn't put it past them trying to finally make moves on Iran. because Iran is actually in the way, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, Iran will be one big interruption to what they're trying to establish.
Yeah.
All right, and that's why recently you just had Trump come out and try to instigate more conflict with them by insinuating that he got intel, or he heard through the grapevine that they're going to try to retaliate, by killing one of the U.S. ambassadors in South Africa.
Right.
And he basically said that if y'all try to attack us in any kind of way, we're going to be forced to hit you up.
Yeah.
A thousand times harsher.
Yep.
Gone.
And that sounds to me like he's like, that sounds nuclear to me.
They gone, because we can't forget that America was the first to pull out of that the Iranian nuclear deal. But what they did, they blamed Iran and basically tried to twist the narrative, saying, oh well, they broke it after we got out of it, so they're the problem. That's how Esau moves, man. He's just a liar, and he's a manipulator.
That Psalm 55.
What?
Psalm 55.
Oh yeah, it's like, yeah.
Read it. 21, right? Yep. Oh well, let me start up 20. Psalm 55 and 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. Right, talking about breaking them deals.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trust this man. It said like they making a deal and everything's all good, but you gotta expect this man to break that deal. If you're the United Emirates, you gotta expect it to be broken. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Yep.
Peace and safety,
Yeah.
but sudden destruction, right? His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can't really trust this devil when he speaks peace. Really, it's almost like they speak in code.
Yep.
And that's how a devil works. They speak with a double tongue.
Mm-hmm.
He'll say he's trying to declare his peace, but really behind the scenes, this man he wants to wage war, man.
Yeah, for everybody else is hell. For him, it's,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So them trying to make this agreement work in the Middle East, they got to get rid of the hindrance, and that hindrance is pretty much the Iranian regime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they got major influence over there. Plus, they're backed by two super powerful power structures, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got China and you got Russia that backs them.
That's right.
So that's what's going to bring this total global conflict. Okay, so we know that ain't no way in hell there's going to be any peace established. All right, now I don't know if y'all had anything else. If not, I want you to bring that out.
That article.
That dealing with the full text. Just to cut the first couple of pages, like maybe the first two. But if you had if you had a scripture.
I'm gonna read Psalm 83 real quick. Just the first couple verses. It says, keep Psalm 83 at the top. One, it says, keep not thou silence, O power Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee lift up the head.
Yeah.
It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Yeah, and this is crafty because it's like these heathens are trying to insert themselves into the covenant that the Lord made with us.
Yes.
While basically leaving us out, because they've, throughout the course of time, they've kept hidden the fact that we were the true children of the Most High. That inheritance belonged to us, the Fertile Crescent.
Yeah.
But the heathen, they took it over.
And they have to routinely reestablish, because we're making a lot of noise all over the world that we're the real children of Israel. And so they have to make it seem like every time we get really loud on that higher stage, Trump comes out and does something reestablishing those people in that land.
Exactly
what it feels like. Every time you turn around, they got no, we're over there because look, we're making deals. It's going to be a peaceful deal. We're supposed to be here. and so on and so forth. But the world don't recognize all of that. And I'm talking about just the regular people of the world. These are biblical historians that have come out. Not at this point anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Not like we do.
Right.
Refute the whole interaction. That was one more verse, I think. Yes, verse 4. They have said, "Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee." And that's the point. They want everybody to feed into the fact that if they're the Israelites and they're establishing themselves over there with those Arabs in the Emirates. And like we were talking about earlier, we know enough to which is funny, I don't have an article now, but we know that all those Arabs are full-blooded Ishmael. That a lot of them were mingled with the Edomites, came in there and mingled their seed amongst a lot of those Saudi princes and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. So you got Esau up in the ranks amongst Ishmael.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so Esau figures making this deal would give them more posture and more advantage in the Middle East, so they'd be able to control the resources, the trade routes, you know, the policies. You know, Esau figures he'll have everything sold up over there, and that's why he's trying to declare peace. So really, they're basically getting ready to come together to try to take out Iran. That's more than likely what they're declaring without actually saying it. You know, and you have certain Ishmaelites that are denouncing this peace agreement because they don't get along with Amalek over there. They hate each other. We know where the Palestinian state regarding this matter. All right. So hey, that's just Esau. He's just trying to establish himself even more. Okay.
What is that through his policy?
Daniel 8.
Yeah.
Through his policy, cause craft to prosper in his hand, and through peace he shall destroy many. That's it. Hey, that's basically what it is. You know. Mm-hmm. That's basically what it is, man.
And you see that he's always backing it with some form of a document or legislation or something that he's pushing. That he deserves to be in that land, and then what he's gonna do in that land. If it comes down to it, hey, these Edomites will double cross anybody. They double cross themselves. As to a man that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? So they gotta know that that's not gonna come out. Making a deal with America is not gonna come out in their favor. Hey, Trump through all his whole campaign last term was saying it like, nah, it's about America being great, not about everybody. We're gonna put America first. A lot of first termers talking about America first, and everybody else. The time that we win on deals now. So let me bring that article.
Yeah.
Okay. This is from CNN Politics on CNN.com. It says it says full text of the Abraham Accords and agreements between Israel and the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain. I read into the article. It says President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Tuesday joined the foreign ministers of the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain at the White House to mark historic normalization agreements between Israel and the two Arab countries. Read the calendar.
Which are two Shemitic groups, all right, and yes, they both come from. They can't say they have Abraham as a father because you know Abraham he fathered 8 sons, but then you had Ishmael, and then you had Isaac, and Isaac had what? He had Jacob and Esau, and we know that Ishmael. He had an inheritance, but he wasn't given the promise. The Lord rejected them both and chose Isaac and Jacob. So if you can't get Second Ezra, the 3rd chapter.
That where it's at? I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
Second Ezra.
I think that's the one that I was thinking of. It's gonna go into that, right?
I'm not sure what she was going
You
into.
know what I'm saying? With going into about
the Lord,
yeah,
who the Lord chose.
rejected them, yeah.
Second Ezra 3, and you can read verse.
Yeah, I got it highlighted. You want where we start?
16. Start at 13.
Yep, 13. Come. Mm-hmm. Yep, it says this is Second Ezra 3 and 13. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them whose name was Abraham, him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showedest thy will, and madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou would never forsake his seed. This is what I was looking for, what I was thinking of. It says, and unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau. And so Jacob became a great multitude. Hey, nobody should want to be Esau, man. You see why these Edomites don't want to be who they supposed to be. You know?
The Lord rejected him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and notice how it says Jacob became a great multitude. So that means that Jacob is accounted for the seed of the promise. When you break down Abraham, his name means father of a multitude.
Right.
It passed down to Isaac, which in turn passed down to Jacob.
Right.
So really, the promise only went to the children of Israel. So they're the ones who's supposed to have the authority to establish the order. And guess what? That's why when the real children of Israel return, the order will be established and you will have peace. But right now, the true children of Israel is established over there. So that's why you're still going to continuously have nothing but confusion, a war, anarchy. Okay?
I'm looking for in Genesis because
when Ishmael was rejected.
Yeah.
That's I think that's Genesis 17.
17, right? I think it's the end of 16, but I think it's actually in 17, right?
I got you.
Come. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When we get it?
Yeah, because it's going to tie into this. Let me read a little more while you find it. It says, as for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee and put by Esau. And so Jacob became a great multitude. And it came to pass that when thou leddest his seed out of Egypt, thou broughtest them up to the Mount Sinai, which goes further to the history of them directly passing that law. But when he rejected Ishmael, that was huge. Because, Ishmael has a multitude of people among their nation. They did get blessed with that, but the promise of the kingdom of heaven wasn't given to them. It went into Isaac, and then it was skipped over Esau and went to Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
You said, yeah?
I got Romans 9.
Okay, yeah, I was, yeah.
This Romans 9, and I'm going to start here at 6. You said
what does 5 say?
Whose are the fathers of whom?
Start there.
It's Romans 9 and 5. Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Yahweh came, who's all over, Yahweh blessed forever. Amen. Not as though the word of the Most High had taken an effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Mm-hmm. Oh, not because they are the seed of Abraham, and that's what children, but the children. So you can't even use Abraham as a reason why you get to be in that land. Because remember, we didn't have battles at camp or whatever, debates at camp and in different situations where people try to, where these Ishmaelites try to say that they're the children of promise. No. It was his first son was Hagar.
Hold on. Don't the so-called Jews, small hats, believe that the mother, if you're a Jew according to your mother,
Right.
Now they saying they're Abraham, which is the father.
Mm-hmm.
You see the confusion in this thing, man.
Right.
You know.
They can't establish, any truth anywhere. They're playing both sides.
It says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Yeah. But in Isaac, so it didn't go to Ishmael, so then the United Emirates shouldn't even be over there. And then when we're reading in Second Esdras, it tells you that Esau was rejected, and Jacob was given the blessing. So with Abraham to Isaac to Jacob.
There's more. There's 8. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of the Most High.
Just because you're the firstborn, that don't mean you were chosen. Just because you are of Abraham, don't mean that you were chosen.
But the children of the promise are counted for the seed. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also hath conceived by one, even by her father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth.
Notice how Paul is going into both. How Ishmael was rejected, they're not accounted for the seed, and also the fact that Esau also, before him and his brother were even born, he was rejected as well. You see that? Showing you that, it does matter, who accounts for the promise. Okay? Because to that nation belong the different things that he listed. Okay, the promise, the inheritance, the giving of the law, the service.
Both the covenant.
Both, the covenants, the glory. It all pertains to the true children of Israel.
The rank in the system. In the kingdom.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is continuing. This is 11. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth.
You remember when we had the debate with the Ishmaelite, that Kel? He kept trying to say, Hajar. She was the mother of the firstborn. And I believe in that Kel, it was like, but if you notice, we went into it. And it's like Sarah got a blessing and changed her name, further signifying the child that came through her, but it was because of Abraham and went down to Isaac because the sons they had, but they had both gotten a blessing. Abraham and Sarah had gotten a blessing right before that. Hajar got cast out, and he was like, "Let do what you will with it, and take your son and take our son." If you have more.
Yeah, it says, "Not of works, but of him that calleth." It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? God forbid.
Let me get this right quick in Genesis 16. You still hold 17, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna start with 16 before you get that. Genesis 16, then I'll get back to the article. And 18, it says, and Abraham said unto the Most High, "Oh, that Ishmael might live before thee." He still spoke up for his son, his oldest son. He said, the Most High said, "Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant." For an everlasting covenant, right? And with his seed after him.
Yeah, Esau and Ishmael, they both trying to take that covenant unto themselves. And that's why the Lord got them fighting amongst each other. So really the Lord got them caught in that snare.
They both feel like they got bamboozled out of it, but the Most High set that up. It wasn't for it, just because that was the usual, because in those times that was the usual way it happened. You passed down your blessing, your biggest blessing, to your firstborn son. But these were special occasions, and they happened back to back that the firstborn didn't get it. The first one wasn't a wife of the promise. It was the free woman. It was the woman in bondage, which was Ishmael's mother. And then the second one, it was the younger. The elder shall serve the younger, so the younger will get the blessing. Okay, so he made a distinction in those two things, and he can do that. Most High can do that if that's so what he chooses. a little more. It says, yep. It says, and as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. That's what his name, affliction heard, right? It says, behold, I have blessed him.
No, it's not affliction. That's
It's
Simeon.
It's I heard you or something. I forgot what Ishmael means because they were crying about not having a child. It says, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation.
Yeah, that's where you get, all those, those princes, they're rich off that oil.
Mm-hmm.
Those 12 princes, man.
That's right. It says, but my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee, not Hagar, at this set time in the next year. So that was going forward, that he wasn't going to deal with Ishmael. He was going to deal with the unborn son at that moment. The unborn son is Sarah. And that's where the whole laughter, he's going to make us even older before we have a son together, for real. And that's when they laughed about it. And his name was called Yatzak, which is laughter, which is Isaac.
I got a quick.
You got it.
If somebody can also get Genesis 21, when they basically the boys got older.
Mm-hmm.
I got a quick preacher.
Yeah.
This proves, the Most High divided, the nations, to get to the last nation, which is the children of Israel, to be his people. All right. Deuteronomy 22:8. When the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the lower portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so you just can't say Abraham, you got to go deeper, man. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And then to the first chapter?
Yeah. You can start at 8.
Or you can't say Semitic. You got to go deeper because the Lord, he divided the nations, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's Deuteronomy 7:6 down. Just for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power, Yahweh, hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Because basically what we're talking about with this Abraham agreement is they're trying to establish themselves that they're the ones that got the promise. Because because the Most High is not coming down himself and say, no. And so it's left to man on earth to figure out who it is. Well, he's going to send Yahweh that's going to set the world to know who actually is the children of the promise that the Most High chose. Okay, but until then, these other nations that feel that they should be in there, they're going to try to put their bid in for that spot. You got it.
It says, the Lord thy power, Yahweh, hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, talking about Israel, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord Yahweh loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
Yeah, you said. You can go to
one of Hajar, no, sorry, 8. It says, and the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hajar the Egyptian, which she had born unto Abraham, mocking.
Yeah, talking shit. He was, and he was just born, but he just swore up and down like, well, I'm the heir, I'm the oldest, so I already know what's coming to me. So he was mocking Isaac, man. But he had no idea that the Lord had different plans.
Yeah. 21.
Go ahead.
I'm on 10 now. It says, wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac.
And guess what? The Lord hearkened unto that, because that was the will of the Most High anyway.
But,
it wasn't going to be given to Ishmael. The seed of the bondwoman, that was the child of the flesh, not the child of the promise. All right, it even reiterates that in the book of Galatians, the 4th chapter. You know, I think there's a little more on that.
Yeah,
and then, if you want to bring that one out, you could. Yep. And then we'll go back into the document.
It says, it says verse 11, and the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And the Most High said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman, and all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. There was a point where the angel came to her and told her, if I remember right, it was one of them. Which one was it? No, it was is it an 18?
Talking about verse 17, bro?
Let me see, 9. Let me see real quick.
18.
In the chapter, right? Or you talking about the verse? Yeah, the chapter is what I'm at. Yeah. Where did it go? He got 3 angels.
Abraham
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 17 he laughed, and 18 she laughed. If I remember right.
No, not 18. That was about Sodom and Gomorrah.
The 18th chapter?
Yeah, Abraham, when he was inquiring about Sodom and Gomorrah because his nephew was
angels you talking about?
over there.
It's further down.
So it might be before then, after be like maybe 16 or 17. If what you're looking for.
14. Let me start at 14. This is 18 and 14. Genesis. Is there anything too hard for the Lord Yahweh? At the time appointed will I return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. Yeah, because before that was just a small part in there. When my point was, she found out that was the interaction that she was found out that she would have a son, and that would be and Abraham knew that would be the son of the promise, and it wouldn't be in but you had it in 17. But I don't want to go too far off from that, but you can move on or whatever y'all want to bring up. I just thought that made sense that she knew. That's why she said those words, and then the Most High told Abraham, "Don't be grieved. Follow what she tell you, because I told her that I would give her a son, but he told him no in 17 that I would give you a son. That will be the child of the promise."
Yeah, if you want to go to that,
Galatians 4, and I'll start at 21. Tell me, ye that desire to be under the law, do you not hear the law? For it is written, that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman. But he who was of the bond woman was born after the flesh, but he of the free woman was by promise.
Which was Isaac.
Well, which things are an allegory, for these are the 2 covenants. The one from Mount Sinai was gendered to bondage, which is Agar. For this Agar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answereth to Jerusalem, which now is, and is as in the bondage which with her children. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. For it is written, rejoice, thou barren that bearest not, break forth and cry, thou that travailest not, for the desolate have many more children than she which has a husband. Now we, brethren, as Isaac was, are the children of promise. But as then he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the spirit.
There you go.
You started mocking them.
Mm-hmm. One was after the flesh, which was Ishmael. The other one, Isaac, was born after the spirit. and was given the promise. Yeah, that's what after the promise. But that's what it was saying in correlation to further down the line as it kept going. There was more of that.
Even so, it is now. Nevertheless, what saith the scripture? Cast out the bondwoman and her son, but the son of the bondwoman shall not be heir with the son of the free woman. So then, brother, we are not children of the bondwoman, but of the free.
Yeah. So he was basically saying to the church in Galatia that, hey, we're the seed of Isaac. Showing you that these people that were in the churches in these regions, these were all Israelites. Because to them they have to be reminded that, hey, the Lord made a covenant with our fathers, man. We were given a promise, but we fell away from that, being estranged in other lands, man. You know. But now we're being called back. We're that seed that was that Acts the 3rd chapter where he said you are the children of those who indeed shall all nations of the world be blessed. I'm kind of butchering it, but basically, you know, Israel is accounted for in that particular seed. I think it's in Acts 3 and like 23, something like that.
Yes. 25.
Yeah.
It's Acts 3 and 25. You are the children of the prophets and of the covenant which the Most High Yahweh made with our fathers, saying unto Abraham, in them thy seed shall all the kindreds of the earth be blessed.
Yeah, that's pertaining to Israel. So Esau, it's funny how Esau tries to, like I said, he tries to insert himself into that position. And that's why he's trying to make these kind of, declarations and agreements and, trying to proclaim peace as if, they're going to establish, one big, order that they're going to have full control over the nations. And that's just so far from the truth,
Even with Esau, really all the kindreds of the earth have been cursed.
That's exactly what I was going to make a point with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how's he going to bless the whole world when this dude doing nothing but corrupting everybody? Double crossing and creating wars with everybody.
Yeah. So you can, if you want to, you can go into the
oh, I had one more line on that 21. No, one more verse. Back in Genesis 21, verse 12, it says, and the Most High said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad and because of the bondwoman, and all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. And also of the son of the bondwoman I will make a nation, because he is thy seed. And that was Ishmael. So he didn't completely do, just cast him out, but he blessed him. But that was your blessing to make you a nation. But the eternal blessing of the kingdom of heaven, which is what this agreement is trying to establish, both of them in that region, which you don't even realize, Ishmael don't even realize, Esau just trying to get his foothold in that region still. It's really just America trying to get in position in that region over there. And they're going to use them from the state of Israel over there to get into that United Emirates area. That's all they're really trying to do, so they can be in position.
More posture over the Iranian regime.
Everybody's setting up their chess pieces, man. That's all that is.
Yeah.
Now, that was it on that. I'll go back into this. So this is actually the text of the document. It says the Abraham Accords Declaration. We, the undersigned, recognize the importance of maintaining and strengthening peace in the Middle East and around the world based on mutual understanding and coexistence, as well as respect for human dignity and freedom, including religious freedom. We encourage efforts to promote interfaith and intercultural dialogue to advance a culture of peace among the three Abrahamic religions and all humanity.
And that's not going to happen. That's not going to work out. All right, there'll never be an agreement, man. Even amongst the Muslims, the Sunnis and the Shiites, they don't mess with each other, man. You know, so who the hell are y'all to come in and just think that everything is just going to be reestablished and everybody's going to
Because you say so.
Yeah.
And the people don't even agree with that.
No.
So in the region, that's what those.
They're trying to establish Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. They're trying to basically bring the peace of those three religions together. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though they're
a lot of bloodshed between all of those religions that took place, and it led to a lot of wars, a lot of conflict. All right, a lot of colonialism. All right.
Yeah.
So
both sides.
On all sides. So what makes you think that that's going to be established now?
That so what if they're I think it's monotheistic. So basically one God at the top of all three of those religions, but that don't make them all understanding the same thing. And what they're gonna do, share the blessing amongst each other? Yeah, right. Those people in the land of the small hats, they don't pay that shit. They're the most selfish people on the planet. You know? And what Bo the Fifth said was, when you get a consensus of a people, you have to go to the people first. You can't just pass shit and expect the people to be with it. The people have to be with it, or unless you're going to get things like we're getting with these uprisings. You know, that popular vote, the people's vote, actually does matter. And the people over there ain't with it. It says, we believe the best way to address challenges is through cooperation and dialogue, and that developing friendly relations among states advances the interest and lasting peace in the Middle East and around the world. It says we seek tolerance and respect for every person in order to make this world a place where all can enjoy a life of dignity and hope, no matter their race, faith, or ethnicity. It's a bunch of bullshit.
It's all BS.
But you see who they're not putting into this stuff. That's fine as long as they talk about them Israelites, them small hats, and them Muslims over there. I mean, what's the Judaism? What's the other one? And the Edomites over there. Huh? Yeah, all of those different religions over there, but they're not putting in you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is not fit for you. Not even that they're not calling you the children of Israel, but they're not saying that this don't fit for you. This fits for them. Okay? The small people, it don't matter with. It says we support science, art, medicine, and commerce to inspire humankind, maximize human potential, and bring nations closer together. We seek.
This is them yelling peace and safety.
Yeah. It said we seek to end radicalization and conflict to provide all children a better future. All children. We pursue a vision of peace, security, and prosperity in the Middle East and around the world.
They shall sow peace and safety. They shall sudden destruction.
Even though his words were smoother than butter, yet war was in his heart. It sounds good. Don't it? It sounds like this is the deal. This is the one. And we know this man. What did it say in Sirach 12? It said him not by thee, lest he seek to take thy seat. That's clearly what this man is doing.
Yeah, that's why some of those Arabs are starting to call those the Ishmaelites in the UAE, they call them sellouts, man. Because they know that under their God, they wouldn't agree with that. You know, you got people saying that God does not acknowledge the state of Israel. God is not honoring your agreement or your covenant or whatever it is that you're trying to establish. So they're not with it, man. It's really, when they try to yell at peace talk, it just causes more division.
That's right.
Now you got Satan casting out Satan. You even got small hats that are actually in opposition to their own Zionist leaders.
In that one video, the guy said, he said to say we want peace means you had to have been at war. There was no war established between Israel and the United Emirates.
Mhm.
So how are you going to ask for peace? You need to be talking about peace with the Palestinians, because that's what this is. This is basically over. When we can see what they're probably going to do, is probably help get those Palestinians out of that northern Israel. That's probably what they're going to do. So, because that's probably the position that they truly want geographically to get that chessboard piece.
Yeah, they've been even aiming at taking Syria too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those conflicts in Syria have been behind the Zionists trying to expand their territory in the Syria. You know. But that's
It says in this.
They see this is why this is why the scriptures say in Psalms 2, why do the heathen rage and why do they imagine a vain thing? They think that their counsel is going to override what the will of the Heavenly Father is or what He has established. That's not going to happen. That ain't going to go down like that, man. Hell no, y'all being gathered over there because the Lord's going to set y'all up in this war that He's about to have go down. All right, and y'all finna get your asses whooped. That's what's going to happen, and then the real children of Israel is going to be brought over there to establish order. That's all that's happening.
Yeah, they don't see the big trick bag that they're in. That they're all you can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. You don't see that all this that you're fighting to establish with yourself the peace and all that you're talking over there is really going to only lead to the counsel of the Most High standing, which is to bring war and to put His true chosen people, bring them out of captivity and to put them back in their own land, put us back in our own land. Mm-hmm. It says, in this spirit, we welcome and are encouraged by the progress already made in establishing diplomatic relations between Israel and its neighbors in the region under the principles of the Abraham Accords.
We all come from Abraham, so let's all come at peace, in the honor of our father Abraham. Mm-hmm. But we just went through multiple scriptures showing you that the promise of Abraham, it only went down to one seed. You know. History, because we know Abraham, he was a Shemite. Anytime something happens to the small hats over there, Amalek over there, it's always considered an anti-Semitic attack, or they call it anti-Semitism. But why is it that when they do anything against their neighbors, that y'all claiming to try to spark peace with, when y'all commit violence against them, why isn't that never considered anti-Semitism?
Everybody in that whole region is a Shemite.
Everybody, exactly.
The whole region, Palestine,
exactly.
Ishmael,
Elam,
yep.
Yeah, the Syrians, all those people over there, they're all Shemitic.
Yep.
But only one people
claim that,
can claim that they can use. Only one people can use that card. Mm-hmm. That SIM, I'll call it the SIM card. You know, come on, man. That's how you know this is bullshit.
Yep.
Gaza recently just tried to attack Israel. Just recently.
Lebanon. Those people are from Shem.
Yeah.
So when they said it was a bomb, they keep getting hit. Mm-hmm. That place been on war seemed like the whole time. But nobody calls anti-Semitism over there. Mm-hmm. Right. When things happen to them over there.
Mm-hmm. Now, if they really real about this peace talk, then wouldn't they consider that? Mm-hmm. When they push for more against anti-Semitism against their so-called fellow, Ishmaelite cousins or whatever, relatives. Yeah. He's a hypocrite. Mm-hmm. And he's a liar, man.
So that was first, and I think there's some second, right? Yeah. It says, in this spirit we welcome and are encouraged in the progress already made in establishing diplomatic relations between Israel and its neighbors in the region under the principles of the Abraham Accords. We are encouraged by the ongoing efforts to consolidate and expand such friendly relations based on shared interest and a shared commitment to a better future. That lady was going in on it.
Shared interests.
Mm-hmm.
Of who?
He said, we're not even represented.
Exactly. No, they're speaking for themselves. They're speaking for the interest of the Zionist elite. That's what this is about. And the Zionists, they've always used the U.S. as muscle to enforce their interests.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's why the U.S. has to be a middleman in this whole ordeal.
Yep. Because if not,
Yeah.
anti-Semitism, we're gonna bomb you. We're not gonna allow that type of hate to come across the world. Whatever. I'm on the second page now. It says the government of the United Arab Emirates and the government of the state of Israel, hereinafter the parties. It says aspiring to realize the vision of the Middle East region that is stable, peaceful, and prosperous for the benefit of all states and peoples in the region. After you didn't kill Soleimani, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
The dude was the one holding that peace in that region. But the difference when Soleimani was alive, he held that region intact amongst Ishmael and Elam. What you're trying to do now that he's gone is put yourself in there and say you're doing the same thing he was doing, because he didn't believe that, he didn't trust you Edomites, man. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it came out that he was actually behind them getting the victory over ISIS over there. Because, you know, the America, you know, Trump, they were trying to act like they were trying to get rid of ISIS over there, but it turned out that he was the one that actually helped get rid of them. You know?
Then America was like, well,
but then they spin it and said, no, he was over there trying to spearhead the terrorism going on over there.
No, you say that because he's dead and can't speak for himself, but you say that because he wouldn't let you in over there. America tried to come in like, let us in so we can help, you know, so we can do the job that you're not doing. He's like, no, the job is done. Mm-hmm. I know who's really who, but it was all about getting that position in the Middle East over there. Because once you were there, well, think about it. Once you got in the room, so to speak, what was they gonna do? Kill everybody in the room and take over the room and say that, okay, now that we're taking this over, now we're going to do what we really over here to do. And Soleimani wasn't letting that happen. So this is another way to get that established over there. Okay, yeah. Let's go to this things.
So it says the desire to establish peace, diplomatic and friendly relations.
Yep, it says cooperating and full normalization of ties between them and their peoples in accordance with this treaty, and to chart together
that's why it says never trust thine enemy. How many treaties have this devil made over the course of time, let alone the past, you know, few centuries? He's made treaties with everybody around him and literally broke them. You know, literally broke all of them. So why would you even want to trust this devil, man?
The same host at the White House is the same guy that said that we were gonna win on every deal. Mm-hmm. So you really gonna trust that he gonna have the best interest for everybody? This dude's trying to make sure America wins. It says, it says reaffirming the joint statement of the United States, the State of Israel, and the United Arab Emirates, the Abraham Accords, dated 13 August 2020, believing that the further development of friendly relations meets the interest of the lasting peace in the Middle East, and that challenges can only be effectively addressed by cooperation and not by conflict.
They want everybody to basically comply with this.
Yeah, so who gonna be at the head of this whole thing?
You already know.
When America already said it,
they ain't down with that shit. So what? Y'all, the small hat, y'all gonna be the head over this?
Yeah. You already know what they gonna say.
Ain't no peace gonna come out of that, man.
Reaffirming also that their shared belief. Oh no, I read that one, Salaki. It says recognizing that the Arab and Jewish peoples are descendants of a common ancestor, Abraham, and inspired in that spirit to foster in the Middle East a reality in which Muslims, Jews, Christians, and peoples of all faiths, denominations, beliefs, and or nationalities live in.
And you know what this is? This is somebody can go to Habakkuk 2. This is basically Esau trying to keep unto himself one people.
Mhm.
This is his aim at trying to establish peace
This is
for his new world order.
this is how he blends in with the imposter does what, man? He surrounds himself with people that are established and known and respected, and that's he gets his clout off of them. Okay, so now, oh, you vouch for this guy. Okay, so you're good. You vouch for this guy. Okay, so I guess he's good, type of deal. And that's all he's doing is to help establish him as being the Israelites, and that instead of what those small hats in the land of Israel are, and it also gets the United States into that region to be able to fight. And really, Israel, the people in the land of Israel over there, they want America in that region so they can protect them, so they can make their moves with Iran and from Russia and whoever else that they're not cool with, so to speak.
Yeah, they need it. Remember when I think Trump had he had declared for the troops to leave Syria, and basically Israel got upset. They were angry with Trump when he made that call.
Hey, who's gonna protect us over here?
Yeah.
We do a lot. We got a lot of shit in motion.
Habakkuk 2 verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yet also, because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Who enlargeth his desires hell.
Hey, why you? Your land is America. Your land is Israel. Why you all the way over there in the
Really,
Emirates?
your home is in Mount Seir.
Right.
That's where you
Where
really
you supposed to be. Yeah.
But you got the Holy Land that don't belong to you. You got Babylon, and you want control over everything else. That's why you all over the place. That's why you got embassies everywhere. That's why you got your military spread thin all over the place. Because you never keep at home. And that's the reason why there's no everywhere you at, there is no peace. All right, because the Lord said that you would live by the sword, man. You're that red horse. All right, that was given that sword. A great sword was given to you to take away peace from the earth. So how the hell are we going to establish a peace when the man of the sword, the man that lived by the sword, all right, the violent man as Esau, he's the one calling the shots, man. Go ahead.
He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gathered unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
And that's that, one world, system that he's trying to establish and set up. With him at the top of that system, him running and controlling it.
Hey, that's the thing. I'm telling you, that's the thing about Edomites, man. They don't want to be a guy in the ranks. They want to be at the top. They don't want to be one of many. Out of many one. They want to be at the top no matter what. That they don't take any other position. They want to be the head of everything.
And when you have other nations that want that same top spot, it's gonna be nothing but confliction. There ain't gonna be no peace when you got a bunch of alpha males in a particular place, and they all are trying to go for one spot. You think there's gonna be peace among them? Hell no. You can't have multiple people on one throne.
Right.
Yeah.
Obadiah 1:6. How are these things of Esau searched out? I'm sorry, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hid things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him.
Yeah, you ain't gonna understand what's going on because you're being caught up in a snare. You thinking that making these treaties, you're gonna make more friends to yourself, but the Lord's gonna put the spirit on them to really come against you.
They gonna get the up close view of what this man does, and they gonna hate this guy.
Get a taste of your own medicine. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise man out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Timon, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
And the Lord's he's gathering you for that war, so you can be slaughtered. Okay? You're gonna be slaughtered, man. Yeah, that was it, right?
I appreciate that. This second Edges 13. I'm gonna start here at 6. It's like 5. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereof the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, which fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up everyone, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid.
This is going into that war in Jehoshaphat. That's building up in that region. That's when the chariots show up and Yahushua is involved. Because not just all the nations of the earth is going to fight, then Yahushua going to fight. And like you said, it linked to the nations going to band together. Even though they're afraid, they're still going to fight against Yahushua and the chariots in that region. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You have more, or if you want to make a point with it?
No, that was it.
Want me to read more? Right.
Yeah, you can finish that, and then I have something else right here.
Okay. It says, I'm gonna read that verse again, line in this again. Recognizing that the Arab and Jewish peoples are the descendants of a common ancestor, Abraham, and inspired in that spirit to foster in the Middle East a reality in which Muslims, Jews, and Christians and peoples of all faiths, denominations, beliefs, and nationalities live in, and are committed to a spirit of coexistence, mutual understanding, and mutual respect. It's funny because all of those come out of what? The universal religion, Catholicism. That's why I said that coexistence is another key word that links right to Catholicism. You know, that everybody could come in and believe in this one monotheistic higher power, and the details don't matter as much.
But see, they're trying to create this one world Babylonian system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So notice when that was taking place, the Lord chose Abraham to come away from that system that was being established. The Lord sent him on a mission to get the hell away from there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he only served one power. These other nations, they were serving whatever God or whatever was dealing with, but they were trying to bring that all together. They were trying to amalgamate it and incorporate it together. You know, and that's Catholicism.
That's right.
All these different religions and different gods being, basically confined to one religion.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham, he was a monotheist. He only served one power. But amongst those small hats over there. You got the Ishmaelites over there, and then you got Christians over there. You all serve different gods. Not the same God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man.
That's exactly why I was making the point of, even though it's monotheistic, it's still different. They're not the same gods. That the same gods don't all line up with the Most High. Yeah, it says, you have some? Oh. It says, recalling the reception held on January 28, 2020, at which President Trump presented his vision for peace and committing to continuing their efforts to achieve a just, comprehensive, realistic, and enduring solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It says,
yeah, this is only going to benefit the top leaders, man.
Yeah. So,
And really, it's Esau that's going to benefit from. It's like we mentioned before, Esau then married into, those Saudi families, and he came up in the ranks. So some of those Saudi princes that you think are actual Ishmaelites, they're really Edomites, man. So you can see, what Esau is really trying to do, man. He's trying to establish himself, but he's still trying to take on the title of being the chosen. He's still trying to say that he's the son of Abraham. He's trying to say that he's the Jew.
yeah.
He's saying that he's the son of the promise when he isn't.
Both of them are saying, and they're saying we can share. Basically, they're saying we can share this blessing that we have over here, even though we have different views on our God. They gave
Exactly.
the blessing.
Exactly. So as long as we keep the real Israelites from being a part of this thing, and we can prosper, man.
Yep.
Because we're returning, we're coming back, man. Worldwide, we're coming back.
That's right.
And the Lord, they can see it that we're getting ready to be established. And the Lord is getting ready to make his return, man. So that's why they're putting these moves, into place right now. Because they gotta hurry up and do what they gotta do.
I got a question for you. Zechariah chapter 9, verse 6. Ashdod is, basically, it's in Israel, all right? And the baptist there, which is small.
Yeah, they were not the Father. The Most High is not dealing with them. They're like bastards. The Holy Father dealing with the real Israelites.
Yeah. He said, I will cut off the pride of the Philistines, who was basically talking about the Palestinians over here. So both of y'all are not going to get, in the loving mindset, man. All right? It's a time of hate, No matter what you saw signs on a piece of paper, your mind's not going to change, man. All right? And I will take away his blood of his mouth and his abominations from between his teeth. All right? But he that remaineth, even he shall be our power, and he shall be his governor in Judah, and Ekron as a Jebusite. So that's pretty much it.
That was it.
No, it's a little more. It says, they're recalling the treaties of peace between the state of Israel and the Arab Republic of Egypt, and between the state of Israel and the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan, and committed to working together to realize a negotiated solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict that meets the legitimate needs and aspirations of both peoples, and to advance comprehensive Middle East peace, stability, and prosperity. They keep throwing those keywords out there, emphasizing the belief of the normalization of Israeli and Emirati relations is in the interest of both peoples and contributes to the cause of peace in the Middle East and in the world, expressing deep appreciation to the United States for its profound contribution to this historic achievement. Wow.
I think I have a quick script. This is Isaiah 58 and 22. It's like Isaiah 48 and 22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked.
There's no peace until we.
Mhm.
And they're wicked because they don't do what the Heavenly Father says, because the Lord has laws that's written in His Bible for,
Instruction in righteousness.
Yeah, righteousness.
Yeah. And this man don't follow it, the word of this book. He knows it, but he don't follow
Yeah. You small heads, you homosexuals, even in you Arabs, man, you homosexuals too, man.
it.
You know,
Yep.
pedophiles, all that.
Yep. That was it.
I think so. This other.
If not, somebody can get Ezekiel 36.
Strategy agenda. I may want to read that though. Y'all go ahead.
Just throw that at the top.
Comes Ezekiel 36 at the top. It says, also thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord. And thus saith the Lord power Yahweh, because the enemy hath said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are in ours. It's like even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Therefore prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord power, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that you might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and you are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people.
Yeah.
Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Thus saith the Lord power to the mountains, and to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession.
And that's who's there. The heathen in Idumea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Idumea is the Greek word saying Edom.
Mhm.
Right? Esau.
And I got finished.
Yep.
It says, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey.
Spiteful minds. They're not over there for sincere reasons, man. You guys gotta know that.
Yeah, that's why it says in Isaiah 26, let favor be showed to the wicked in the land of uprightness. They will not learn righteousness, man. They over there desecrating. They're not living according to the instructions that the Lord gave.
A certain day, Most High told Moses, hey, I'm want to make y'all wander in this wilderness so y'all figure it out. That I want y'all to live a certain type of way in that land. You know, the land I never gave your fathers. You got to live a certain type. That's why He gave them the statutes, laws, and commandments before they went. You know, when they were under Sinai, and then made them wander to figure it out for 40 years.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, man. I mean, you mean to tell me that these people, these are supposed to be the fulfillment of the chosen people going back to the land. So that means that all the nations are coming to these people.
Yeah.
You know, as a you know, to receive the light. You know, you're supposed to be a light to the Gentiles. You know, for everybody to come up and learn the ways of righteousness. Why isn't that example being taken with these people? Why is it nothing? Everything that's these people are connected to, all it has to do with war, you know, greed, degeneracy, idolatry. You know,
and these people are known to be the righteous, upstanding people that are in the position that they're supposed to be in up here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, these can't be. That can't be it, man. These can't be it. All right, they're the main reason for all the conflict that you see going on over there, man. Okay.
Yeah, click on my steal from Z.
You know, is it too?
No. Let me hit this right quick then. Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And it's clear that the people aren't happy. Man, that's what all these uproars are all about. The world ain't thriving and happy, and that ain't what's going on. That's not the sentiment in the world. Hey, China and Korea, they're happy with taking the L agriculturally to get their arms up to be able to fight in this Third World War. Okay, they don't mind that at all.
Well,
You want to get it up?
Yeah, Isaiah 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Isaiah 2, when we start at verse 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it.
Mm-hmm.
And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, the house of the power of Jacob. And he shall teach, he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Hey, well, that ain't happening.
Nope.
They're not establishing the word of the Lord. They're not establishing righteousness on the earth.
Nope.
And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. All right. Who was that he, man? Yeah. The Messiah, man.
Because it says that he's coming back to judge and make war.
Yeah.
All right, so that means that he got to take them crowns. He got to snatch them crowns. He'll take you out of your position of power, man. Because the Lord, he's going to have the dominion. He's going to be the one to establish the new heavens and the new earth. That's going to be the final real new world order.
Yep. And righteousness.
All right, this current situation is not going to suffice you, man. Y'all gonna continue to fight until the Lord shows up, man. All right, y'all gonna continue to fight. All right, the fact that Iran is still over there, the fact that Syria, Russia is over there, the Chinese military is not too far off. You still got those North African countries, and Russia to be a guard unto them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is all just wishful thinking, man. Why do the heathen rage? Why do they imagine a vain thing? Go ahead.
And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
Yeah, if they were the people that's supposed to be in the land, this was part of that deal of establishing Israel as that top nation in the earth. Then there should be no more war. The people should be at peace. But that's not, that don't tell us that that's not the real people. Because when they say the nations will flow into it, the gates will be open. Didn't you read that? The gates will be open continually.
That's in Isaiah 60.
Yeah, but it says the gates will be open continually because they're gonna need to worry about somebody coming in here trying to fight up against the Israelites. They're gonna just understand that after the example Yahweh Shai puts down, nobody gonna lift a finger up against the nation of Israel no more. Against anybody.
Also, it describes in the scripture what Israel is going to look like, man. It's going to be built upon gold, different precious stones and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The 12 apostles' names going to be up there, man.
The 12 gates.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ain't none of that's being fulfilled right now, man. Right.
Yeah, so ultimately the Lord ain't acknowledging that, the Lord just putting the spirit on you to try to make these presumptuous moves because you're proud, like the scriptures say you would be. And really it's just to your own destruction, man. When they shall say peace and safety, then they sudden destruction.
Well, it's coming.
It's coming, man. There's going to be war over there in the Middle East. There's going to be a draft. A lot of people are going to get called out, and a lot of people are going to be put in graves, man.
Yeah.
And some people know your bodies will just be left out there, like the scriptures say, that they should be as dung on the earth. All right. And the Lord's coming to establish his kingdom, man. The Lord's going to plead with you nations for the controversies of Zion. Okay? So that's what's going to be established, man. That's when the world's going to be at peace. When the real Israelites are back in the land. All right? So anyway, that was pretty much it. We want to go into that. This Shabbat. The water to you brothers that tuned in. We hope that you brothers were edified. We'll give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. That wants to the elder apostles. Peace and salutation to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.